All right, welcome back to Tribal Council Talk, an unofficial Survivor podcast brought to you by KMOV, the CBS affiliate in St. Louis, Missouri. I am John O'Sullivan, former Channel 4 producer and self-proclaimed Survivor superfan, and joined, as always, by Tasha Fox, the amazing two-time Survivor contestant, St. Louis area native, who agreed, despite my idiocy, to do this podcast with me.
Yes, thanks, John, for having me.
Are you excited to talk about Survivor?
Oh, I am so excited. We had another great episode, sir.
All right, I'm going to start by going Tribal Council Talk, a great Survivor podcast with Tasha and John.
I don't know if that was a haiku or not.
That was. It was 575.
So multiple haikus strung together.
Yes.
Got it. Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it, Coach.
But before we get into the poet of Coach, we come back from Tribal Council, the Blood Moon.
Yes.
And everybody I talked to in the past week was like, why do we have to call it the Blood Moon?
Yes.
We're just kind of over it. But apparently we just still keep saying Blood Moon, so I guess it's stuck.
Yeah.
But, we start with the Tiff's reaction. I wanted your thoughts about how, how she held herself together coming back from that.
Tiff was pissed. However, very diplomatic, I loved her explanation. I'm really upset. Let me process, and I'll talk to each of you. I thought it was great. The best reaction you could possibly have after such a blindside. I thought she handled it well. What about you?
No, I thought it was great. Even Chrissy said, it was very eloquent,
Yes.
And then so, was that your take? Like you said it before, like come back, do what she did, and then vent to the producers.
Right.
Do it.
I mean, if you're railing on people, it just kind of lowers your integrity in the game and could piss people off, and like you're next. But I thought she handled it well, and I loved that she used the confessional to let it out, because that's the opportunity to say what you want to say, which is what she did. And she's like, I'm going to dance on their survivor graves. Like, that's the time to let out your frustration. So I thought it was a very wise move.
All right, I will take notes for that.
Yes, when you're out there.
On there. Yes, and hopefully never get blindsided. But just in case.
At the confession.
Yeah. I don't know why I wasn't expecting it, because they had split up into three tribes, but I loved that they all came back to the same beach.
Me too.
As it just kept layers of like, who's not here, who's not here, who's not here.
Yes.
Which was different than, that's happened before with double tribal councils, but I love the three layers.
Me too.
But I did not understand Aubrey's lie about why she didn't play the idol.
I noted that as well. Like, what? And why would you tell everybody? I don't know. Maybe why would she tell everybody she's going to play it if you knew there's a possibility that you weren't?
So my question to you is: do you think the better strategy would have been like, I'm going to play it if I feel like I have to?
That's what you say.
Right.
That's what you say. And everyone knows you have an idol. They want to know what you're going to do with it. Just tell the truth, because now she came back with egg on her face, and people are like,
So you can't remember what you're supposed to do?
Right. I forgot to play it.
Right. When the obvious thing is, since she played her shot in the dark, I didn't feel like I had to play my idol.
That's all you say.
And it's perfect. Why wouldn't you do that?
You say. I think these players, they're really good, so good that they're overthinking, I think, some parts of the game. And that was an overthought component. Just tell the truth.
Right.
I had my hand on it, and I realized, you know what? I don't need
it. And then it's almost like, okay, because instead of, maybe she was trying to lower her threat level, but then again, then it's throwing everybody off. Like, are you going to forget what our plan is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Aubrey just keeps scheming to confound me. And then Christian took advantage of it by just spreading that around so quickly.
Yep.
So that's just another little knife into Aubrey.
Exactly.
And then the only other thing post-tribal for me was, Jonathan really, being the snake whisperer into Coach about like just starting right away the night before on a D.
Yes. In they're looking at Jonathan as this big lug, no strategy, just out there. And I'm like, you guys better open up your eyes to Jonathan. And he comes off as this like aloof player, but he's playing the game too.
No, that's what I loved when, with the Coach on the hammock and Dee and Jonathan there. And then right afterwards, if everybody else has thought that they've evolved their games, why wouldn't you think that Jonathan could evolve?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, too, I don't understand why people who are on the side of the blindside initiators think they can just come back to camp and people are just going to be okay. Part of Survivor is, okay, I may blindside you, but I also have to do triage, right? And I think they didn't do that with Jonathan.
Not well enough.
Not well enough, and he's pissed, so. And
you could say that, like Dee going out this week is a direct result of her blindsiding Charlie 2 weeks ago.
100%. 100%. Yeah, it's all interconnected.
It's bad blood.
It's bad blood, but I love it.
Yeah, no,
bring on the blood.
Yeah, I love and then Jonathan's confession right after that of like saying, look, it went totally according to plan.
Yes,
he blew up Dee. She wasn't expecting that from him. And I think that was his. Does no one see his Instagram post that he's friends with Boston Rob?
Exactly, trained by Boston Rob. Yeah. And so kudos. I'm liking Jonathan more and more. Is he on my team or is he on yours?
Well, I'd have to double check. Yeah, but he didn't get a rerun episode, so I don't think I would have targeted him. That that was my strategy of whoever is being rerun.
He's on your team.
Well, sorry. I do love swimmers.
Yes, you do.
But that. Anything else on coming back from Tribal besides anything else?
Nope, I thought it was good. I loved, like you said, just seeing the tribes come in one by one and they're waiting up for him, like, oh, let me get the tea. But, the tribe coming back without Colby, I was a little sad,
No, and I thought, again, that Colby had a great going out there. And Coach even said that, he went out, like a warrior.
Yeah,
But, it is. But I think that, they did see that Colby was a lot of the glue that tied. Stephanie doesn't have as many connections to like the coach and Joe and Jonathan.
Exactly.
Colby really was the glue that could hold that big thing together. So I'm wondering how that'll go in the future.
We'll see.
Did Coach go crazy or is he playing it up?
I think Coach did coach. And it's interesting about Survivor. You go and you say, I'm going to be a different player. I'm going to change my strategy. But when you get in such a high-pressured situation, you're going to revert back to what you're comfortable with. So I think he reverted right on back to the Dragon Slayer, and he lost it. Lost it.
I'm wondering how much, and then again, later his team doesn't win reward either. I mean, it's like, how much is this is like he's starving. He hasn't slept, and it's just, like you said, reverting back to what it was before because he doesn't have any brain food.
Mm-mm. And it's so funny. I think I talked about this last week. Coach wants to say that he's playing an honorable game, but I'm like, you're not that person. Right. You're genuinely not that person. And it's okay because it's acceptable in Survivor to not be an honorable person, but to give speeches and...
That's not how I play Survivor.
Yeah, and nobody who's dishonorable will not win. And Emily's like, yo, you gotta go. I was worried. I was worried for Coach.
So it was after that, I'm bringing honor back thing that really got me thinking more about the voting blocks. Mm-hmm. We've got the Cerise Wizard of Oz with Cerie, Ozzy, and Rizzo.
Yes.
I think you've definitely got Coach, Joe, and Jonathan.
Yes.
And then we have to see whether Stephanie and Chrissy stick with them or not.
Right.
Then you've got Christian, Emily, and Rick.
Yes.
And then you had Tiff and Dee with kind of Aubrey wondering where she's going to end up.
Right.
But I really do see a lot of similarities with Second Chances. We're wondering, like I think the Cerise Wizard of Oz could move within all of those groups. Who's
100%.
Beneficial to move with the best?
Out of all of those, let's call them alliances. Mm-hmm. I think those groups that you just named, they are together. The most solid alliance, I think, is Cerie, Rizzo, and Ozzy. They talk amongst each other, and they've really kept each other's secrets, right? There are some things that only they know. Whereas the other alliances, they are very fluid. They're talking, they're telling other people's business, but there are certain things that only that trio of Ozzy, Rizzo, and Cerie know, and that's gold in Survivor. I think they can actually trust each other.
Yeah, I think Christian and Rick have that, but then the problem is Emily, yep. Word vomit.
That's
flipping.
Exactly why I said they aren't as, yeah.
Because you never know what she's going to do.
She talks too much. She talks too much. Wow.
All right, then coming back, as we were talking about talking too much,
Yes.
Coach comes back, pulls Rizzo aside.
Yes.
Why would you say, I want you to replace Colby, as opposed to say, like, moving forward, I want to have these people be the four horsemen?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's a little phrasing difference thing, but I mean, Rizzo picked up on it, and Rizzo does all of this.
Yeah, and then too in Survivor, of course, you are constantly thinking about your own objectives, your life in the game, your moves, and what you should be doing always is thinking about, when I have a conversation with someone, what are their needs? Mm-hmm. What do they need to hear? It's not about you. The best survivors know that it's not about you. On day one with Jeremy, when we locked in on Cambodia, I said, whether I can win against you or whether I would lose against you, I will ride with you to the end. If you are eating, I'm eating, meaning we're going to leave this game with money. So that's all I had to say. And I carried that through the entire game. It's not about me. Even if I lose against you, I'm okay with that. Right. That was my reality. I just wanted to get to the end. And so
and just to clarify, she did, folks.
I did get to the end. I did get to the end. But for Coach to go to Rizzo and really make it about Coach, right? You're joining us. We have a place for you. Instead of what can I say to Rizzo to make him feel like it's about him. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
No, I think Coach failed at that this entire episode.
Agreed. But it's time to wage war.
Yes, it's time to wage war.
It's time to wage war.
Even if it's against himself. I do think that, Dee blowing up, it kind of, so then it fell in with about the Rizzo idol.
Yes.
It kind of just totally played into Jonathan's plan.
Totally.
And even, like you said, like she kind of dug her own grave.
She did.
By losing that. And then the montage of like, oh, I meant to tell you this, but I didn't. And
yes.
even though it was mainly her allies at the time, she did kind of shoot herself in the foot.
Exactly. And, Dee said something so profoundly like, it sucks to know that you've made a move that may have cost you the entire game. That's the worst thing to do in Survivor. Like, you do something, and I think Coach felt that yesterday as well, like, man, I probably did too much. You can just see it. Even at Tribal, like, his face, he just looked like, I messed this up. But Dee, the moment to watch her see that she made a critical error, someone who has won the game, and she prided herself on her strategy and her relationships, and to see her kind of come to the revelation, I messed up.
Because it goes back to what you just said about what does the other person need to hear. I mean, Coach is there earlier when they were fighting with Jonathan. She's like, everybody lies. I'm like, well, that's not what Coach wants to hear.
No, that part.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Come on, Dee.
Come on, Dee.
We can judge while we're in the Channel 4 podcast studio.
Right. That part.
So anything else before we get to the journey?
Nope.
All right. I thought that, at least I can't remember when the boat pulled up.
Oh, wait. I have one more thing.
Of course. You're in charge.
One more thing. I loved that Ozzy and Rizzo come strolling in the camp. Doo-doo-doo. Oblivious
to everything.
Unscathed, and just like, hey guys. I'm like, oh man.
His reaction, and then like, we're on the jury. But what struck me on that is like Rizzo automatically asking like, are they on the jury or not?
Yes.
Like he's such a student of the game.
Yes.
Knowing automatically, he's just trying to say, okay, how big is the jury?
Yes.
Or not?
Yep.
It's not like Ozzy's just like emotional reaction of it's crazy. Rizzo's like, how many are there? Are they on the jury? Are we on the jury now? Where is it at?
Love it. Good call out.
Yeah.
Good call out.
Way to go, Riz God.
Yep.
I can't remember a journey, and they haven't had this big of a group for a journey that I think, obviously ever. But Stephanie doing like, let's use our shots in the dark as opposed to rocks.
Yep.
And because
loved it.
I don't know if it came from, because, which season was it? It was one of the latest New Era seasons where someone basically rigged the game.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, well, let's use rocks, and then like had their hand in there, like knowing which rock to pull. So by using the shot in the dark, you totally can't do that.
Totally.
Because you're like, oh, well, I don't know who's pulling up. But then she got picked.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
What was my question to you on her challenge of holding the arm up, which I know would kill me?
Yes.
It came out and said, if you do it for 60 minutes. It was like, would you want to know how long you had to hold your arm up there or not?
That's a great question. Yeah, I think I would want to know. And one thing that I would do in endurance challenges when I was on Survivor, I would sing songs in my head. So the way that I would have processed that challenge, most songs are, let's say, 4 to 5 minutes. So if I can sing X number of songs, I know that'll get me to an hour, right? And so it's helpful to know. And I thought it was helpful to know at what levels, like the pot, where the pot needed to be. Yeah,
where the little mark
right,
was.
so you can constantly look and see, okay, I'm almost there. Yeah, and you're thinking 1 hour, I can do anything for an hour. So I think it's helpful to know. But if they're just like, you just have to do this until the pot falls, you're like, I could be here for 8 hours. I could be here for 10 hours. And then mentally you're like, so I think knowing sets a line in the sand, and it's more helpful. What about you?
No, I think the same. Like I would want to like, it's a good thing to think about for when I go out there.
Yes.
Of like coming up with like a phrase or a song and like know how many times you have to go through that to get to that certain time.
Totally. It's definitely a good strategy. And it's so funny that when Stephanie said that she had to use her left arm, I'm sitting in my living room and I'm holding up my arm like this. And this is rough. Like right arm, it seemed like I could do that all day. But the non-dominant arm, I'm like, this is probably hard for her.
Yeah, and I loved I love all the flashbacks. So it was great, and that was a rerun episode that aired before the season, like really highlighting, that she's a competitor. But and that I didn't know she had to have surgery on it.
Me either. Yeah. And then I didn't know she was 45. I'm like, go, Steph. She's still like a physical beast out there.
That's like, I wrote down that she said, that's the hardest thing I've ever done, up there with childbirth. And she was a D1 athlete too. So
yes.
I'm like, that says a lot.
Yeah. That was cool. I like that journey.
So she wins a steal a vote. What are your thoughts as that? Good advantage, better than a block a vote? Like, what would you think?
I definitely think it's advantage given the number of people and just the fluidity of this group right now. I think it's an advantage. But immediately, once she won the advantage, she's like, now what do I tell these people? And that's another part of the strategy. What are you going to tell these people? That's just as stressful as, winning the advantage. What story can you make up? What did you think about her story?
I thought it was a good line. I think if I was her, I would have gone like, I tried to get to the hour, but I would have played up on her injury.
Yes.
She was like, I didn't think about it till I already strapped my arm in because I'm automatically right. But by the time that it got, I think I was about 45 minutes. My arm gave out. Like, do you remember when Heroes of Rizzo? Oh my God! Yeah,
yes, right.
In my mind, that's what I thought.
I totally agree, and I would have lied and said, the rule says you must use your dominant arm. Okay, I'm right-handed. I have to use my right arm, which is the arm, my shoulder that I dislocated. So they know Stephanie's a beast. So to say like I had to use the arm that I had the surgery on, so I just couldn't do it, guys. That's more believable. But like Cerie's like, she's a beast.
But to me, it seemed like Cerie was the only one that picked up on it, or at least it was shown.
Right.
Yeah, and Stephanie's not known to be as much of a like a liar.
No.
So, but I did love that. My wife loved when she was like, I don't know if we can curse on this or not, but she was like, I know you did beep. Because and they can't mention it because of the CBS show. But Cerie and Steph did spend a lot of time together on the Traders.
They did,
and
did.
And so,
Cerie, what I love about her game, she's so casual and personable. She's like, "Girl, come on, tell me the truth." And you're just like, "How can I lie to Cerie?"
No, she can do it with a look.
Yes, with a look, and it's so. I mean, it's just the way that Cerie plays the game. She comes off as such a non-threat and just a casual, like, I'm just out here. But this girl is calculating to even go with Stephanie to the well. Like, she's like, it's a strategy, right? Let me just go with her immediately after this speech.
But I know that, they did spend a lot of time together on the Traders.
Yes.
Stephanie talked about ahead of time that they actually strategized way more than was even shown on camera on the Traders.
Wow.
Because she talked about how the cameras on the Traders aren't as good as the camera workers on Survivor because especially in the castle, they're more placed cameras and not being followed around. So she was like, Cerie and I found all the blind spots where the cameras couldn't catch us, and that's where we did our talking. So they do have, a bigger past than I think is shown, which I wonder, if Stephanie will end up going more with the Suri and the Wizard of Oz, as opposed because Colby's gone. It's like she doesn't have that connection to the three horsemen.
Exactly. And then Stephanie and Ozzy seemed like they had a pretty good relationship. Now, Stephanie did blindside Ozzy.
But I think she did a good job of like
fixing
positioning
triage.
it. Yeah. It was like, it wasn't me. That isn't Christian crazy.
Yes.
And like, yeah.
Agreed. Oh, I love it.
But, Suri did then tell Rizzo. And I think Suri is trying to do more on solidifying her relationship with Rizzo.
Exactly.
On the hammock.
Yes.
Again.
That hammock.
The harmony hammock.
The MVP of Survivor season 50 is that hammock.
Yeah. But, I think she has been, like, a lot of people are approaching, as Coach took the wrong approach with Rizzo, trying to, all these people are trying to scoop up Rizzo.
Yes.
But I think Suri's played him the best.
The best. I agree. Totally.
Oh, yeah.
I could see Final Four. Throw Stephanie in there. I love it.
I will say, like, I'm always just thinking, because I thought about, showing much the montage and the Stephanie in one of the preseason podcasts on Rob Has a Podcast. It was after the Heroes versus Villains rerun, and it was Colby and Stephanie and Coach talking about it, and I was just listening to it, but on the video Stephanie was like, oh, I just got a blowout, a haircut, and Colby made a little comment. He was like, you look like $1 million.
Ooh.
So I was like, when I wrote down, like, when Stephanie was getting edited around the Journey Challenge, I'm like, oh, is this the start of her, Final Four edit? I don't know.
Okay.
I'm crazy weird.
Okay.
Anything else before the challenge?
Nope.
My initial thought and fear, right when the drone shots come up of the challenge, and I saw it was two different colors. One more thing. Oh, of course.
Okay. I love that Steph tells Suri her advantage. Yeah. And then what does Suri do? She tells Rizzo.
On the hammock.
Yes, on the hammock. So it just solidifies, like, they are sharing information within each other. Solid alliance.
Which is why I think Stephanie could just move it right in. Move it right in. So wait, the drone shots come up.
Okay.
Challenge. I see the two colors.
Yes.
I was like, oh, they're going to do a double tribal council. But then I think that's what everyone thought when they were coming out, because then their reaction, I mean, Emily does have great reaction. She's like, oh, we're all, like, everyone's not safe. Like, she thought it was going to be more of like a emergatory type thing, and it wasn't. But at least some of them got food.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, that was where I was so glad that one person's going to win,
right?
And then jumping forward, I was like, why didn't I realize that season 50 wants to keep having firsts? So last month, it was the last week, first time there's 3 tribal councils. This time it's going to be 14. This is the largest tribal council that we've ever had.
And I love the format of first portion is for reward, second portion is for individual immunity. I don't know, have they done that? I don't think for reward. Right, exactly.
Yeah,
so
which was another thing I wanted to ask you about, because it popped up and I paused it. I was like, oh, Shannon, who do you want to pick? Because they don't show the schoolyard picks anymore.
No, they don't.
Which I thought they might with the longer episode. And, we both picked blue, and that, they won. But I think the change in this is you're not just picking the people you want to win your reward. You also want to make sure you're picking the people who then have a shot at immunity. Yes. Which is why I want to know I wish I would have known what the order of the pick was.
Right. That would have been helpful to see. And then also the third component would be when you have a reward and you win, this is like prime strategy time. So you're also picking people that you need to strategize with in kind of a private setting as well. So, but yeah. And then sometimes you don't want to pick your closest allies because you're trying to separate the people that you want to vote off. So it would have been interesting to see the actual pick, because I think we would have got a lot from that.
Yeah. So make that a secret scene, CBS, so I can watch that part.
Totally. In any tribe with Jonathan, I'm like, child, they're in good hands.
So the thing, on the challenge, that grabbed me was, and it's the usual thing of, Jonathan's the ladder, and then I assumed Joe would be the ladder once they got on there.
Yes.
And then they didn't, and I was like, that was smart. I want to know who came up with that idea, because then they got up a lot faster.
True.
And, like, Ozzy can help get up, and then Joe, like, the pull up there.
Yeah.
And props to Jonathan for heaving up there on himself.
I know.
I thought that was a key little change that let the Blue get back up there.
I agree. But, and obviously the great equalizer is the doggone puzzle.
Why? My question is, why Coach?
Why?
I mean, you have Sarit, you have Aubrey.
Yes.
Why was Coach doing that? And I want to know, like, that's the other thing. Sometimes they'll show the, like, I'll give you a minute to strategize, which was more than a minute.
Yes.
But you can see them, and I'm like, was Coach, like, adamant about doing it? But
Probably.
Like, you should know yourself.
Yeah.
I was like, he's not the puzzle king. I was like, when you have the people who are on that team who are great at puzzles.
Yes.
And I know it was still close, but why wouldn't you have Sarit or Aubrey on there?
And that is such a great point. And knowing Coach, I think he knew he kind of messed up with these conversations and the lectures, that he's like, let me
put himself in the hero role.
Yep. That's exactly what I got from it. So, yeah, I would have done someone else. But you know who kills puzzles? Chrissy. She's really good at the puzzles. But she's such a sleeper right now. I think people are just overlooking her. But even when she did the calling challenge, the blindfold challenge, she was the caller, and she had them construct the puzzle blindfolded. She's really good.
No, she's slipping under the radar.
Yeah, and so maybe if she makes it far enough and you get down to the truly individual challenges, immunity challenges, she'll be one. If she could get past the physical part first and get to the puzzle part, I think she's one to watch.
Well, and she did win multiple. I mean, she's tied for the most wins for a woman.
It's true.
And I did say that no matter what, it was close, which I like more than a blowout, obviously.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Anything else before immunity?
No.
Okay. My first question for you, what are because in the challenges they were going, I don't normally think I've seen this where Jeff was like, Christian, like move further away.
Yeah.
Are there rules if you accidentally bump another player or you fall off or you hit someone in a challenge like that where they're so close?
Yep. So there was one challenge, and it was the floating dock. Obviously, when you fall off, it ripples the water, and when you swim, it ripples the water. Jeff said, if you fall off, swim out wide so that you don't interfere with the people that are still in the game. The game goes on, but he said, we won't stop the game, but they may come after you if you ruin their chance at this challenge. So it's live. It is what it is. So if you accidentally bump somebody and they lose that, it's not a do-over. It's just like now you have bad blood with the person that you intentionally or unintentionally sabotage.
When
we
it's
tell
like
Christian,
a track meet, like if you accidentally bump,
exactly,
you're both out.
You're both out, right? And so,
that would kill me.
yeah. So you're very mindful of once you're out, not to even unintentionally interfere with someone else that's still in the challenge.
Okay. Thank you for answering my question.
My pleasure.
I did love, some of my little tidbits that I loved, like zooming in on Stephanie's bloody knees, just showing that, which I assume was from the challenge before.
Yes.
I love Devin's giving props to the boom operators.
And I thought about that too. You don't see the cameras, right? Obviously, you're watching it, so there are cameras there. But that was one of the things that I love the most about Survivor is the behind-the-scenes stuff that I got to experience as a player. We're literally running through the jungle and there's 4 or 5 cameramen and boom mics following you too. I'm like, these people are excellent at what they do. You never see them. They're there, but as a player, you forget that they're there. Somehow you go blind to them and you're like, well, how can people say this? How can they do this? Don't they know that America or the world is going to see this? But you literally go blind to the producers and to the cameramen. But I think they are excellent at what they do.
So you just get used to it.
You get used to it. You're so engrossed in the game that the production part, which is integral, you just don't, you tune them out and you start saying things and you're like, oh my gosh. This is going to air. How did I miss this camera? So I think part of strategy in Survivor too is not only navigating the game, but then editing yourself. not giving the producers anything that you don't want them to play with.
Well, Coach doesn't know how to edit himself,
Nope.
so they can play with everything that he says.
Yes.
I thought Joe was going to pull it out. He just looked totally steady.
Yes.
But then when Ozzy won, I realized like that's his first win this season.
Right.
Like he was on like no tribes that won.
Yep. Not typical Ozzy, right?
No, he lost to Coach in the very beginning of the first Exile Challenge.
Yes.
So I was like, hey, it's your win.
I will say I didn't want Dee to win. And when she dropped, Jonathan's face was like, woof. You could see like the joy and the relief. So,
which is Dee is a challenge threat.
Yes, she is.
Like thinking ahead of how they played up the Coach versus Dee. I'm like, Coach is not a challenge threat.
No.
Especially as he's older. He wasn't really when he was young. It was like, if you had to decide, like, who do I want to have my better chance with? Like, yeah, get rid of Dee.
Exactly.
So props to Ozzy. And then
Ozzy.
Highlighting that, he's one win away from tying the most individual challenge wins.
Yep.
So I don't, it's one of those things where I wonder if they tee it up, because that obviously could have been, they could have cut that out.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's it. Anything else before the post-challenge scramble?
Nope.
For the thing that got me that I wanted to ask was like, why? Well, first, this is 14 people. You were on a 13 person.
Yes.
How hard is that to wrangle that many votes to try to get it your way?
Oh my goodness. I think someone said it's herding cats. And the thing is, you don't want to start talking too early because whatever comes out at the beginning of the day, and these challenges, mind you, happen early, 8, 9 a.m. So you get back to camp, it's like 10 a.m. You literally have all day to talk and strategize. And the plans change so many times, and you can't remember what you told this person, and then is this person telling this person? It's so hard to navigate a strategy with that many people. It's like impossible.
And in this case, it was harder because the people who were on the reward were separated from the people who were. And a lot of times if that happens, like the people on the reward are safe, the people that aren't there, but they have to incorporate what those people are going to do.
So whatever we may have come up with while those people are enjoying their Chinese takeout, the moment you introduce these people back into the camp, everything changes again because they've had conversations at the reward. So they come in like, hey, I talked to so-and-so. They want to do this, and then you just reformulate. So I hate post immunity challenge. It's like the most stressful time. And then what's worse is sometimes as you are getting ready to leave to go to tribal, you don't even have a solid plan. And so you're like, you don't know what's going to happen at tribal because you haven't concretized a vote off. And that's when you get the live tribal where people are whispering, and it's crazy. It's real life. This stuff is not made up. For anybody that thinks Survivor is orchestrated, is fake, what you're seeing is really what's happening in the moment.
So we're seeing cocky Coach in the moment.
Yes.
Like go a little crazy, try to dictate to everyone.
Yep. Doing too much with the middle people.
Right. Which, how does he not know that Rick and Christian are so tight?
Yes.
And that, as Rizzo points out to him, like, Rick's in the middle.
He's in the middle.
And I don't even understand who the middle is because we think there's so many different permutations of who's working with who. Like, who is the middle?
Agreed.
But number one, like, they are obviously tight together.
Yes.
Like, everyone knows that.
Right.
How are you trying to say, like, don't tell him that?
Again, Coach's non-strategic thinking, like, you have to look from the other person's perspective. If you think you're on top, don't say middle people.
Right.
Just say, hey, you got this. What do you think? As someone who's in the middle myself, what do I need to do to get to the top with you? Just change up the language.
Right. For me, this is like always concentrating on making sure you bring other people in, not dictating to them what this is what we're going to do. I'm like, how about you like have a conversation?
Right. What do you want to do?
Right. And do like a Suri where you steer it the way you want without having to just be like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. Which is an art in itself, how to get people to do what you want to do by making them think it's what they want to do. Right. It's an art.
Yeah. Coach, why do you need the Riz God to explain Survivor with you? When you've been doing this, as he said, like almost as long as he's been alive. Like he's made it to he made it to Final Five. He's made it to a final tribal council. He's gotten votes. Like why this isn't This isn't that hard. I know you're starving. I know you didn't get the Chinese food with the, traditional dessert of brownies.
Right.
But, come on.
Yes, that was funny.
So, I started this with haiku.
Okay, yes.
And then the lovely, I loved the Emily almost observing Coach in the wild moment of him by himself there. There's no producer there. He just sees the camera and he's just talking to the camera, right?
Yes. Yeah. Just talking to the camera.
Okay. I mean, the voices in my head keep me company. I get it. But it's like, does he realize what I would love to know is like, does he realize his coachiness is like getting the best of him? So he's like, I'm going all in on the coachiness. Yeah. But then I wish I would see that in a confessional, because it's a lot harder to sell that at the final tribal if he makes it there, if you're not trying to like leaving breadcrumbs along the way.
Yes. And too, coaches, he knows what Survivor is out or is about. And so when you have this many people, these big personalities in the game, if you want your TV time, sometimes you have to orchestrate haikus, right? You're vying for minutes as well, and so I think some of it is played up a little bit.
All right, well, he can keep playing it up.
I know, because it's good for TV, right? But I love that Coach is like asking Jonathan, Emily, you want to hear it? Jonathan's like, nope, keep talking to yourself.
Yeah.
They're over it. They're so over it.
I did think that, so it comes up, like the alternate coach plan.
Yes.
My first initial thought as viewing it from a production standpoint is they're bringing this up too late. This is so people think that it's not just cut and dry.
Right.
I was like, this is too long. And then the fact that Dee was like, I'm gonna get up and do a live tribal.
Yes.
It's like I think she kind of knew the writing was on the wall.
Yes.
And they're just they're trying to build tension.
Yes.
But for me, I was like, oh, Dee's still going up.
Yeah. It was pretty straightforward, right?
Okay. We're so smart.
We are so smart.
I did love the planned live tribal because it's got, but all these other people who've never seen this before, like Ozzy's like never seen this before. Like,
yeah.
I do still love like all the little permutations of old school, new era.
Agreed.
All coming together.
Agreed.
Was there anything else before we got to tribal council?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
My favorite part was Joe saying he's never going to make another Firehouse reference ever again.
Right. And was it just me, or did tribal look overly crowded?
Well, that was the thing. And they, they did say, they're vying for time. But
yes.
I think they did want to say, as again, like the big parts about season 50, this is the biggest tribal council that we've ever had.
Yeah.
And I get it, but that's a lot of placement.
Oh, it looked so crowded. Yeah. It was pretty cool though.
I think Aubrey did the right thing of playing it and getting it out of there.
Agreed.
Not that there was any real shot of it going on.
Yeah.
But it was good TV again with that. But
yeah.
I think she lowered her threat level.
I agree. But what it does is reintroduces another idol.
I think there has to be another idol already there. I mean, that's my thing. I was like, there's usually, like I said, there'd be in the new era, there's an idol on each of the 3 tribes.
Yes.
And then an idol at the merge. So I'm like, why? We've got idol hunters out there. But, I'm guessing no one's been closer, or we would have seen it, obviously.
I miss the old school days of the sit outs at the challenge, reaching under the seat
automatically.
Like, where are those things?
And on second chances, like the hidden in an actual challenge. Wentworth got that. Yeah.
Yes.
It was like, I love those.
Yeah, bring those days back.
Putting it out there, I would love it.
What if they switch the fake idol that Devins and Christian hid at Tribal with an actual real idol?
Well, like if it's there, then you're never going to have to worry about not having it with you.
Yep.
Then you have the fake idol to play with too. I think the fact that they keep bringing that up in previously on Survivor, that it's going to have a part to play.
It's going to have a part to play. And what if that is somebody goes on a journey and there is a clue that says at Tribal, look for something that will help you.
Right.
And then Christian and Devins sees somebody get it and they're like, ha, it's a fake one.
Well, that was my 14-year-old who he said, like, I think they hid it too well. No one's going to find that. And like, So it's interesting perspective because he was like, he wants, as normally hiding a fake idol would be, you want someone to find it and do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But I pointed out, like, I think they're having it there so they can use it as a bluff if they ever need it.
True.
And he was like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, mind blown, kid. I've been watching this a while. I still love, not that I didn't think Dee was going to go home, but I still would love a shot in the dark to land.
I know.
Occasionally.
Yeah. And we still have an opportunity, right?
Oh, yeah.
We got
all the rest of the time.
Somebody's is going to hit.
Yeah. Like I said, the Coach Smoke Show just came too late.
Yeah.
I brought it up a while ago that most of these players were all voted out.
Yes.
They have the perspective of this is what it feels like when you're about to be voted out. And Dee hadn't. And she brought that up. Like, this is what it feels like.
Yeah, she's like, this is so weird.
I thought that maybe her experience on the challenge, but it's not the exact same of you're automatically voted out. It's
right.
Like, it's a little bit more maneuvering. And
so
I loved seeing her perspective of, okay, you guys got me. This is what it feels like to have this happen to me.
Yes. And I thought it was interesting, just to go back a little bit, that people didn't want to put votes on Tiffany, even though they knew she wasn't going to go home. I think that is a testament to, like, they like her. They value her being in the game, and nobody wanted to write her down.
I wrote that down to ask you about, like, do you think it was more they want to be able to open the possibility of working with her
100%.
when they come back?
Yeah, because that's your first thing when you get back to tribal, when your name's written down. Okay, who voted for me? So we'll see if that is something that we'll be privy to next week on her reaction to that. Because even though she wasn't the target, to even be like the fallback to the actual target doesn't feel good. So
my question is, do you think the large group that was all together will try to do another, because it's still 13 people.
Yeah.
I mean, and as what you said, it's still like herding cats.
Yeah.
It's like, do you think it's going to be straightforward of let's get rid of Tiff and then go, or because I could see someone trying to take advantage of her now to get in maybe somebody out of coaches.
No, I don't think it's going to be that straightforward next week. I think we are still in that voting block phase, so no, loyalties aren't solidified yet. Yeah.
I mean, I could see them flipping, keeping Tiff, and then getting rid of her. I would suspect that there's going to be not this next one, but when there's 12 people, they go back to doing a double tribal council, because they still have to get rid of a lot of people really quickly.
Yeah, a lot of people. So the time's winding down. I agree with you on that one. I agree.
So that was my thing. I didn't really pick up on a lot in the preview. It just said like double the consequences. I'm like, so what does that mean?
Yeah. Not much to glean.
Way to tease us, producers. Anything else before we get to our Survivor Fantasy team?
No, I'm going to say another great episode. There have been no throwaway episodes yet.
Nothing's been dull.
No.
Again, this is why we love returning player seasons.
Yes.
Everyone knows how to bring it.
Yes.
Like even when it appears to be a straightforward vote, I don't care. It's still entertaining.
It's still entertaining.
They're still talking it up. We have it all. They're still playing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
I look forward to it. Every Wednesday night, sitting down and watching.
I agree.
And then every Thursday to sit and talk to you about it.
I'm talking to you. So
I'm
happy.
So how are our Survivor Fantasy teams doing? Well, I lost D, but I'm still kicking your butt in points.
Yes, you are.
So currently, John in the lead with 113 points, Tasha with 94. You get points for finding idols and advantages and winning immunity. So luckily, I had Stephanie and Ozzy. But on Team Tasha, still left Joe, Suri, Tiffany, Aubrey, Emily, Christian, and Chrissy. Team John, Coach, Stephanie, Rick, Ozzy, Jonathan, and Rizzo. The other thing to think about is that there's no more possibilities of boomeranging.
True. Yeah.
Genevieve is gone. Aubrey played her idol, so there's no chance of Christian getting it back. So no more boomeranging, which is why I think that yes, they will definitely introduce something else into the game.
True.
Really, that's all I have. I think I'm talked out. How about you?
Me too. I have to recover from every episode. Like, I'm so overloaded with this awesomeness. And so, I'm looking forward to next week and always talking to you. trigger some things that I even, missed or whatever. So I do appreciate our Thursday talks.
Well, I love asking you questions about Survivor and getting the behind the scenes things, which is why I'm not the only one talking here, because no one cares about me. They really only want to hear from the amazing Tasha Fox.
Aw.
So tune in next week, and we'll be back, and I will be asking some amazing questions and pulling the brain of Tasha to bring you all the behind the scenes and the fun talk of Survivor Season 50 on Tribal Council Talk. See ya.
Bye.